Alright, so what will the agent itself look like for this selection triggering next intent, this pattern? What I have is if you were to go into the default welcome intent, it's going to take a minute to load, as you can see, and you can see that under the Google Assistant tab, what I have is this is the simple response which you see at the beginning. What would you like to do today? Right? And then I just added these 4 suggestion chips. And of course, the bot copy service will take this information and put it into a chat bubble like this. And then it will also take this information which is in the suggestion chips, and then it will render them as actual buttons. And also you should understand that when you click on one of these buttons, whatever is the text of that button is simply echoed back into the chat window as if user had typed that text inside. Okay, so that's what I have. And then also notice that in the default welcome intent, I have this await underscore choice set as the output context, just as I had described to you in the flowchart over here. So this is the welcome intent, and await underscore choice is set as the output context. Now, if you take a look at the other intents, I might have one called choice.quiz, and in this case what we have is first of all, also notice that I have a convention of representing the intent name by what is the action which happened as the intent finishes. That is, when this intent finishes, this choice has already been made. The reason I'm pointing this out is because I've seen some people use some conventions where they represent the start state of the intent as the name, and actually that will be quite confusing, especially in cases like what we are seeing over here, because after all of them are choices, so you don't have any way to distinguish between the 4 choices we have here. So in any case, what I have in this intent is I made await choice as the input context. I don't have an output context, and I simply took the training phrase and added it. I simply took the button text and added it as the training phrase of that intent. I don't have any other training phrases here, as you can see. And the text response is just going to be, you want to take a Dialogflow quiz. Like I said, I'm not going to provide any functionality for this particular bot because it's just going to be a demonstration where I show that it's working properly. And if we go back to the flowchart, that's exactly what we have here. Await choice has now become the input context of this intent, and then you will see that the user, it says here, user clicks on take Dialogflow quiz. Now, when the user clicks on it, it's going to actually render the text take Dialogflow quiz into the training as if it was the training phrase. So that's why I have to add that. Remember when I said like clicking on that button is going to render it as a training, as the user's utterance. So we have to use that text exactly to add that exact text into the training phrase. That's why we are doing that. So one more thing that you might want to do as you are working on these flow charts is just add this information inside. So you can name it, and then the other thing you can do is you can just color it so that it stands out. And that's a good way to label this intent so that you can see clearly like what exactly this intent is, and that's going to be even more helpful when you have a flow chart with a lot of intents. So let's do that, and then I'll just make it red color, something like that. So that's the quiz choice. You can go and take a look at the other intents, and you're going to see that it's going to be pretty much the same. So the choice.suggestion will also have the input context set to await underscore choice. It will also have no output context, and you can see that the training phrases just get course suggestion, which is exactly what we have in the text of this button. And then the bot is going to echo, you want to get a course suggestion. I do the same thing with the other 2 intents. So if you go and take a look at this get coupon, you're going to see the same thing pretty much. The await underscore choice is going to be the input context for this intent also. Get coupon, which is the text of the button, is going to be the training phrase, and then the text response here is going to be you would like to get a coupon. So that is how it works. This is how we build this selection triggering the next intent. That's how we are going to build that particular conversation pattern.